from heavy alcohol consumption. This snapshot of the brain's function enables scientists to analyze alcohol's effects on various nerve cell communication systems, i.e. neurotransmitter systems, as well as on brain cell metabolism and blood flow within the brain. And again, when we talk about a cell, every cell in the body has an electromagnetic field. That is your mind, period. The universe is an electromagnetic field. It's an electromagnetic universe. And if you get the book by Brother Supreme Understanding, The Science of Life, he has a lot of hard science in it. And I say hard science, I mean, from the Western, view, which is very left brain, just pure research and facts. You got what I'm saying? So the brother, Supreme Understanding, The Science of Self. And he talks about the electromagnetic universe. So within your cell is literally the universe. You have an electromagnetic field. So when we talk about certain things that's damaging the connections of our neurotransmitters or brain cells, what we're talking about is our mind. We are literally losing our mind. You know what I mean? Or our connection to our mind. And in a book, European Conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh, he speaks about your mind. When I first read this, I didn't understand what he was talking about. He said your mind is all over your body. It's everywhere in your body. He said we most normally think it's in the head because that's where most of the energy points are within the mind. Because you basically have so many cells in your brain. So that's what he was talking about from a scientific standpoint. Is your mind is all over your body, but in your brain, obviously you have, I'll say an unlimited amount of brain cells because we can grow more. That's your mind. Where was it? These studies have detected deficits in alcoholics, particularly in the frontal lobes, which are responsible for numerous functions associated with learning and memory. And again, as I was talking to these brothers, they kept saying, yeah, you said this. I'm like, I didn't say that. Or, they couldn't remember things I was saying, and they all had cups in their hands. So there's a connection there. As well as the cerebellum, which controls movement and coordination. PET imaging is also a promising tool for monitoring the effects of alcoholism treatment and abstinence on damaged portions of the brain and may help in developing new medications to correct the chemical deficits found in the brain of people with alcohol dependence. So again, everything Western is let's give you some drugs to cure you of the drugs you've already done. Okay. Another high-tech tool, electroencephalography, records the brain's electrical signals. Small electrodes are placed on the scalp to detect this electrical activity, which then is magnified and graphed as brain waves, i.e. neural oscillations. These brain waves show real-time activity as it happens in the brain. Okay? So, this is just to set it up so you can understand how they're actually detecting what's going on with the brain as certain substances are influencing it. Many male alcoholics have a distinctive electrophysiological profile, that is, a low aptitude of their P3 components. And P3 components are how your brain responds to certain stimulation. P3 altitudes in women, alcoholics, also are reduced, although to a lesser extent than in men. So women remain a little bit smarter under the influence than we do, So, yeah.
Can you repeat that for me?
Okay. Okay. Did you have something to say?
After you answer that.
Okay. P3 altitudes in women alcoholics are also reduced, although to a lesser extent than in men. All right.
There where it says amplitude, when I see that, I see amplify. So is that like a multiplication of the electrical compound neurologic process?
Absolutely. For many years, it was assumed that the P3 deficit observed in alcoholics was the result of alcohol's damage to the brain. Then it was determined that while many of the clinical symptoms and electrophysiological measures associated with alcoholism return to normal after abstinence, the P3 amplitude abnormality persists. Persists. So, therefore, you know, you can stop and you might not recover right away. So obviously the longer you go, the longer it takes to recover. You know, sometimes we have this overnight idea with stuff. Everything, you know, we take baby steps, even with diet. A lot of people want to, you know, eat garbage for most of their life, and then in one day, you know, obtain complete health. Nah, steps that we have to take. Okay, we've been damaged ourselves for that many years, yet the body does recover quicker than it takes you to damage it. Yeah.